Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review. I just got done seeing Thor, Love and Thunder, the fourth Thor film, and I think like the 29th MCU movie or something like that. They're coming up on 30, which is crazy to think. Um, yeah, this is not going to be a long review, guys. This movie was interesting. I didn't dislike it. Okay, that's probably your first impression from what I just said. I like the movie. I like it quite a bit. Um, but like is a strong word, and love is a strong word. No pun intended. Love and Thunder. I didn't love this movie, but I really liked it. Um, this is probably an 8 out of 10 for me. I'm just getting right into it. It's not quite a 9. It's not a 7. It's not like that. It's an 8 for me. Um, yeah, this one. Okay, I'm gonna be all over the place with this review, but it won't be long, I don't think, because I honestly don't have a lot to say. A lot of the early reviews for this movie were talking about how the movie's very silly and it can be kind of polarizing for some people with the humor and whatnot, and that Christian Bale was an excellent villain, one of the best MCU villains to date, and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree with all that. But there's one giant thing here missing from those reviews that I noticed. I don't know why I haven't heard anybody talking about this. Maybe it's just me. But this movie has a serious editing problem. The movie had 4 editors. It said in the credits, edited by. There was 4 names, and somebody's probably gonna drop this masterpiece movie that has like 5 editors or something. Say, hey, did you know this movie actually has 4 editors also, or something? I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is this movie was like way, 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 way too fast paced, like for no reason. Like I think Marvel doesn't understand that like we sat through Endgame, which was a 3-hour movie, no problem. Um, why do they need to make their movies like so like I mean 2 hours, it's a fine runtime. It's just for this story in particular, I felt like everything just went by too quickly. Like it needed some padding. Um, like seriously, every scene almost there. Don't get me wrong. It's not like there's zero moments of like relaxation and character building and stuff. But for the most part, most of the movie is like characters like, okay, we need to go do this thing. Da 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 da. Let's go do this thing. Da 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 da. Like seriously, it's so quick. Like there's no breathing room at all. Like for most of it, which really like I don't know what like it really bothered me because like I said, Disney has all the money in the world. They could easily make this movie like 15, 30 minutes longer. It would definitely benefit it. I don't know if they're afraid of like audiences having a short attention span or something, but like I said, we sat through Endgame no problem. Like Spider-Man: No Way Home was 2.5 hours, which to me that's not even that bad. Um, to me, whenever you hit the 3 hour mark, it's like okay, it needs to be worthy of being 3 hours. For me to sit through that. I'll do it. It's just like I said, there better be like Endgame, I keep saying that. It definitely needed to be 3 hours. This movie definitely could have used an extra 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes. Like I'm that serious. I don't know. Like I'm not trying to disappoint anybody. Like you might love this movie, which I hope you do. This nowhere near as good as Ragnarok. Like that was my first question I had because Taika Waititi obviously returning to direct this one, and Ragnarok being like an excellent movie. Like that one's a 10. It's in my top. It's in my top 10. MCU movies. I think it's like number 7 or something like that. I really love that movie, and this one, no, this is like now again, I don't know if this is like something he had no control over. Maybe higher ups wanted the movie to be chopped down. Like I heard Jeff Goldblum returned as a Grandmaster, but his scene was cut out or whatever. Like I'm sure stuff was cut out of the movie. Again, this isn't a spoiler, but the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're not even in the movie. Like okay, they're not in the movie that long to the point where you could literally cut them out and it wouldn't make a difference. Now, I feel very bad saying that. Like, I was really looking forward to seeing something from them. They're literally in the movie for like less than 5 minutes. And again, I'm not trying to ruin this for anybody. I'm just telling you, like, I don't know what happened. Like, why did the movie need to be chopped down like this? Like, I'm sure there was more. Like, there had to have been more. Like, you have that group of actors with that group of characters, and you're literally going to use them for a couple minutes of screen time. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I hope there's like a ton of deleted scenes or like an extended version of the movie we get later on because I don't know. I just felt really like disappointed by that. Like it's like taking a fine piece of art and like ruining it. Like, you know, not ruining it, but like cutting it up into like pieces and like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just why trim it down so much? Again, maybe it's one of those situations where Taika didn't get final cut on the movie or something. You know, I know it's one of those things probably, but you know, and also a lot of the reviews were talking about how like the mid credit scene and the post credit scene are like mind blowing, and I again I'm sorry, like to me is they were good scenes, but I don't get it, I don't see it, I don't like what. Um, Again, I know I'm sounding really negative towards this movie right now. It's just I was expecting, considering how good Ragnarok was, you know, like now that Taika's got the experience with that, like he one up himself, you know. Um, but I'll talk about the positives. Natalie Portman makes her return as Jane, and she's excellent in the movie. Like she's really good. Her action is great. You know, all the action's great. Like the acting overall, there's no bad act performance in the movie or anything like that. Christian Bale is indeed very scary. He's very good. I wouldn't quite say. I don't know. If we had a little more time with this character, I would definitely say, yeah, he's top five villains for me, or top three maybe, you know. But again, I feel like there was too much cut out of the movie. Like we got enough of his character. It's just I could have used a little more. Um, Chris Hemsworth, of course, killed it as Thor as usual. You know, there is silly, ridiculous humor in the movie, which might not be for everybody. For the most part, I liked a lot of the humor, but there was some that was like, okay, like I don't know, like they made it a little too over the top and silly, like just certain parts of it. Again, I know I sound like I'm bashing this movie, but like it's just it was such a big problem for me. The whole like fast pace of it all, like it was just way too fast paced. Like I don't get why. Um, but overall, like I said, 8 out of 10 is not a bad score by any means. Like some people might think that's really high, you know. But for me, you know, like if this was quality, and you know, I was really looking forward to giving this like at least a 9 or something. But to me, it's just a solid 8, you know. Um, yeah, Tessa Thompson, great as Valkyrie, of course. Taika's Korg, fantastic. You know, Russell Crowe's Zeus was really cool too. Um, and I gotta say too, they showed this in the trailers. There's a sequence that's black and white. That is incredibly visually stunning, and my hat's off to everybody who worked on that because it turned out so amazing. Like that's my favorite part of the movie, the whole black and white sequence. That is easily like one of my favorite sequences in probably any of these movies, to be honest. It was very well done. Um, but you know, this movie is just a very mixed bag for me. It's an interesting clash of tones because you have the Christian Bale character who's like incredibly serious and scary, and then you have a lot of the silly humor in the movie, and you don't get enough middle ground. You know what I mean? There is some in there, but I don't know. The movie was just weird for me. You know, the music was cool though. There's a lot of Guns N' Roses and '80s rock music, and you know, hair metal, which was cool. But I don't know, something felt missing. It was way too fast paced for me, and I don't know. Kind of disappointed. Not totally though. You know, it's still an 8. But you know, it's nowhere near like being a top 10 MC or anything like that for me. So yeah, again, I don't have much else to say. This review's, you know, 9 minutes now, so I figured it wouldn't be too long. Honestly, I guess I'll do a spoiler section at the end. Yeah, there's a few things to talk about. Yeah, I'm sorry if this review sucks. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to feel right now. I'm just, yeah. But the movie was good though. Like it was. Go see it. Everybody's gonna go see it probably. Um, you know, did Thor really need a fourth movie? Yes, I believe so. I feel like this movie was necessary. It just could have been done better. The final product, at least. Um, but yeah, Taika, hats off to you. You did a good job directing and everything like that. And, you know, the visual sequences were great, like I said. The black and white one in particular. But you need final cut. You need, you need final say on this movie. Because, man. But yeah, that's about it for the non-spoiler section. So I'm going to talk spoilers. I don't think it will be too long either. So yeah, leave the video if you haven't seen the movie. So spoiler time. Now, it was very surprising for me to see Jane die. I didn't expect that. I thought for sure it would be, Thor to die in this one because, he's gotten his fourth movie now. It's like, okay, like at some point the character is gonna, he's gonna leave the franchise. So I figured this one he'd probably pass the mantle on to Jane and he'd die by the hands of Gore or something. But no, it was very, it made sense, I guess, because Jane's arc, at the end, she got to live, doing what she wanted to do. Like I'd rather live my last few moments being the mighty Thor than in the hospital bed dying. And, the post-credit scene suggests, hey, maybe she'll come back somehow, because why show her and Heimdall in Valhalla like, they're probably going to find a way to bring them back to life or something, you know what I mean? So yeah, and Heimdall has a son, which, like, how? Like, I get why they needed to do that. They needed to have a character with the same ability as him, so Thor could see the kids. But like, when did that happen? Like, what? Whatever. But yeah, it's interesting too. Like, I never would have predicted. Like, the movie ends with Jane dying and Thor adopting Gore's daughter, and she's like the new sidekick. Like, what? I don't know. It's weird. And yeah, the Guardians, like I mentioned earlier, it's like, what was the point of that? Like, I don't know. Like, again, like stuff that ends on the cutting room floor. It's like, man, like, I hope people behind these movies realize what they're doing. Like, they're cutting gold out of the movie potentially. Yeah. So. Other spoilers, the mid-credit scene involved Hercules, played by that guy from Ted Lasso, which is pretty funny. That guy I believe he won an Emmy for season 2. Ted Lasso is an excellent show, by the way. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Brett Goldstein, I think is his name. So he's going to play Hercules, which, okay. I don't know much about that character, the Marvel version of Hercules, whatever. So people were hype about it, apparently, but I don't get it. And I guess there's going to be a Thor 5 because Thor's still around and it looks like his story's going to continue. So I'm down for it, as long as it's a good movie. Like, this was a good movie, like I said, even though it seems like I bashed it to death. I don't know. This review's all over the place. But yeah, any other spoilers? Lady Sif ended up living with, an arm cut off. Again, surprising. I expected her to get killed by Gore or something, and that would have been the motive for Thor to go after him or whatever. Which almost sort of happened. She survived though. But yeah, like I said, it was cool to see Heimdall again at the end. If I'm correct, Idris Elba is the only actor to appear in all 4 Thor movies, aside from Chris Hemsworth, obviously. I think that's right, right? So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, not much else to say, really. Again, like, fast-paced stuff. Like, Jane just sort of became Mighty Thor really quickly. Like, they didn't really bother even to show, like, her getting the power of Thor. Like, they briefly explained it. They did, like, a flashback where Thor was talking to Mjolnir. He's like, I want you to protect Jane with all your power. And he, like, pretty much put a spell on the hammer to give her the power, But it was very, like, I don't know. I was going to say something else. Oh, the whole, like, Stormbreaker Mjolnir love triangle thing, that was weird. Like, I heard people talking about that too in reviews. Yeah, I didn't mind it at first, but, like, it literally lasted the whole movie. It was like, all right, like, I don't know. It was weird. I keep saying that, but I'm just going to end this review now because, I'm just disappointed, but I shouldn't be too disappointed. Like, it was a good movie. Maybe on a rewatch I might enjoy it more. But on a first-time viewing, it was just like, yeah. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this one. Let me know what you thought of the film in the comments. If you're going to mention any spoilers, make sure you put a spoiler tag in your comment. But yeah, I think the next MCU movie, if I'm correct, is Black Panther in November, right? I know we're getting some more Disney Plus stuff, but in terms of movies, I think that's what's next, right? I could be forgetting something, but yeah, yeah. So looking forward to that one. Hopefully that doesn't, that's got a lot this got a lot to live up to, you know, with Chadwick Boseman and all that. But we'll see. But thank you guys for watching this. And yeah, have a good one. Bye bye.